Hi folks, welcome to the Cannabis Corner. I'm your host, Kerry Burns. You know, we just celebrated April 20th, and in the cannabis movement, 420, of course, has some significance to people who are engaged in the cannabis movement and those who partake in smoking this delicious herb. There's a lot of people on the streets out there, though, that never smoked a joint, that aren't part of the cannabis movement and don't follow the cannabis movement and could care less about the cannabis movement. And if you went up to them and asked them, what does 420 stand for? Does 420 have any significance to you? They'd probably look at you like you were crazy, or they'd be looking at their watch thinking, was that the time he's asking me or what? But 420 came about, it's kind of like the alcohol people that, you know, they say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, the cannabis smokers have their time also, and it's known as 420. There's a lot of stories that lean to this lore and all. Some people, there's a lot of events, in fact, that base it on this 420 concept. Many of the big marijuana events are held on April 20th. The so-called 420 Cannabis Cup event there in Amsterdam that gives the awards to the best growers for producing the best buds and varieties from since the previous one. Those all occur at that time. So it's a big event, but 420 basically originated with some college students this was the time of day in the afternoon. They were done with their classes. There was past lunch, and most of them had done their afternoon labs and stuff. And they'd get together to go engage in sampling some of the herbs, and just kind of affectionately became known as 420. There were many people who thought that it was associated with Hitler's birthday, which is April 20, 420. And I can assure you that the marijuana movement in no way sees any association with Hitler after the amount of people he murdered. But this plant's not of that nature. And even though our government has formed a drug enforcement agency and has laws that causes lots of murders at the south of our border here in Mexico because of it, we certainly don't support that type of activity. And you certainly wouldn't have that type of activity if it were legal. But 420 is really a celebration of individual rights. And each day, if you have the time or you're in a particular place in your home or something, and you decide, hey, it's 420, that's a good time to be with friends and partake in smoking a joint and expressing your individual rights and your rights that were given to us by our forefathers when they established our Constitution. And unfortunately, the laws have been trying to take these away from us for a long time. And we've had to live under the scrutiny of the law just to enjoy this herb. And that's what it is, folks. It's an herb. Grows wild like a weed, and grows as fast as a weed and with very little water requirement, very little nutritional requirement. But it is actually an herb, and it produces many, many, many beneficial aspects. Not just from a textile standpoint, not just from the flower tops that you get high on, but there are thousands and thousands of products that we can generate from this plant. And it's everybody's that chooses to smoke this plant. If they choose to use this herb because they know that it's safe, they know that it's natural, they know that they don't have to spray pesticides on it to make it come about, this is their God-given right. This is what you call individual right. And it's not anybody's right out there to take that away from anyone or to tell them that they can't do this. It's just, you know, it's like somebody come up to you and telling you can't have tomatoes on your hamburger. You know, starting tomorrow, if you eat a hamburger, you can't have a tomato on there, even though you love tomatoes on your hamburger. Well, starting tomorrow, you can't have that. It's that ridiculous. This comes down to individual choice. So go out there at 420, 320, 820, 520. It doesn't matter what time it is. It's 420 somewhere. We'll adopt that same type of rhetoric that the beer drinkers do when they say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 420 somewhere. Go out there. Express your individual rights. Express the rights given to you by the forefathers of our Constitution, and partake, and let everybody know. Anybody that asks, if they see you do that and all, if they say, "Hey, what's that in your mouth?" You tell them, "This is cannabis, and this is my right to smoke this, and not you or anybody else is going to tell me otherwise." Now, thank you for spending time in the Cannabis Corner.